Hello everyone, welcome to JCE Connect, the online series of learning. Today we'll start with lab 5, that is how to define and assign the resources to our work. Prerequisites, basics of project planning and scheduling, basic options to be set as explained in lab 1 to start a new project, preparations and application of calendar to the Gantt chart. Okay, we'll see how we have seen, or we need to know how we create the task, duration, how we assign the predecessor, and also establish the relationship between them already, which we have learnt in our lab 2 and 3. Also the preparing of work breakdown structure for the project as explained in lab 4. So in today's lab we'll be covering introduction to the resources, type of resources, resources sheet and data to be entered, about the task types, assigning the resources to the task, and also to remove the resources from the task and adding notes to the resources. So as a revision, this is again about the screen, introduction to the screen. So here you have seen, you have seen the task mode. Okay, so the task mode we have seen there are two types, one is the auto scheduled and the manual scheduled. Then is the task name, okay, that is the activity name. Then we have to give the duration. So if it is a manually scheduled, you have to give the start and finish date of the activity. If it is auto scheduled, okay, the activities will take the date accordingly. Then we have to give the predecessors along with the relationship between them. Okay, and then finally it is about the resource name. So today we will be checking about how exactly we give, or how exactly we need to know and feed the resources. So resources refer, so what exactly is this resources? So it refer to the people that is involved in the project, the equipment and the materials used, also the cost that is associated with the project. This one we term as resources. Okay, this is one of the frequent term that we use whenever we talk about the project management or the activities. Okay, resources is also associated term with it. So resources are required to perform the project task. You consider any of the construction activity. Okay, so if you have to start with any of the work, if you have to show some work, it is what it is always associated with how much amount of the work. That amount of the work is respected with respect to the materials. Okay, who is doing the work? It is the men. Okay, with help of some machineries. So the resources is an associated term, and these resources are required to perform the project task. Then they can be either the people, equipments, facilities, funds, or anything except labor, okay, needed to be complete the project task. Fine. So here we are going to see how we set up, that is the people and equipment resources, how we set up the material resources, set up the cost resources, how we enter the work, that is the people and material, say with respect to the rates, how exactly we need to tag the rates, or how exactly we need to show the amount of people working. If you remember in our first lab we have seen about the options to be set, that is in decimal and in percentage, the amount to be fed. Okay, here we'll be seeing that to make one-time adjustment to individual resources working time, to edit regular working week for an individual resource, and also to document the resource with the resource notes. So resources refer to the people involved in the project, the equipment and the materials used, and cost associated with the project. Okay, so resources are required to perform project task. They can be people, equipment, facilities, funds, or anything that needed to complete the project task. Okay, so in Microsoft Project 2013 what we are using supports three types of resources. These are work resources. Okay, we classify like these are the work resources, as well as the two special purpose resources which we can call as cost and material. So resources are people, supplies and equipment that enable you to complete the task in the project. So the types of resources are, as you know, it is work, material and cost. Now here comes the important thing. When you feed the resource in the resource sheet, okay, you need to define, you need to mention whether it is the work, material or cost, and also we'll see how the corresponding changes will occur. So to understand that properly, we should understand where exactly we need to give as work, material and cost, and what is the prime importance of these types. So the first one, work. So work resources means it is people and equipment to complete the task. Then material are the consumables used as project proceeds. It may be the cement, sand, steel, all this comes as the material resources. So one thing we'll see that in our lab, in our practical session, I'll show you how to do that. Then the cost. So cost resources are the financial cost associated with the task, that is you can give as the travel expenses, food expenses. Now suppose you're transporting some material from one place to another, okay, that expenses, or the lump sum amount on a whole you can mention. So all that will be associated with the cost. Now in detail we'll see each one and the prime importance. First one is the work resource. So as you know, under the work resource we have people and equipment, okay. So these are the two types of work resource in MS project. There are two types. So one is the people and other one is the equipment. So people resource might be flexible in the task, they can perform more than one job. However, equipment resource tend to be more specialized. So that means now suppose for example if you consider head mason, okay, so head mason, he can be the part of all the works, okay, if the simultaneously proceedings or the works is started, but how you allocate the time for that particular resource is very important. If the activity is having a start to start relationship, and if this particular any the subcontractor or any labor head mason is working for both the activities, you cannot show both of them at the same time, okay, both at the same particular time. So you need to give the timings differently, else there will be over allocation of that particular resource, because resource is one, at the same time he cannot work for two activities. So how to bifurcate this we will see in our practical session. So most people resources have working day for not more than 8 to 12 hours. However, the equipment resource might work around the clock. Why? Because something we need to know about ergonomics, that is about the human science. Your body or there is some limit wherein a human resource cannot work beyond that time, beyond 12 hours. Minimum limit should be 8 hours. If he is working more than that, it should be given as a overworking time. So we should be careful while setting the maximum units, okay. So this also we shall see in our practical session. The next one is the material resource. So while working on a project, some material items are needed, as we know. So how do you know how much material is required? You decide this from your estimation, that is you know the quantity of the work. For this much of the quantity, this is the material that is required. So whatever you have in your estimation, directly you can import to your MS project. Okay, so material resource such as gasoline, wood, cement, bags, iron rods, steel, etc. So thus when a material resource is assigned to the task, appropriate units should be specified for that material resource. So material resource are the consumable items which are used to complete the task in the project. So see, so look in the presentation. Material resource are the consumable items. When I say, they are what we are going to use in our work, use in our project, okay. So most of the resources have a working day not more than, but the equipments, yes. So here in the material we'll see how to set that one in our practical session. Now the cost resource. A cost resource represents the financial cost associated with the task in the project, such as what I have given you an example, that is the traveling, then entertainment or training. Okay, during the start of every project you need to train your labor. The labor training will be done about how exactly the safety measures to be adopted and all. So all that whatever you spend there, you can show it as a cost resource. So it represents the financial cost associated with the task that you need to account for. The value of the cost resource does not depend on amount of the work done on the task or on the duration of the task. Okay, so it is not depending on that, it is independent of that. So like so you can consider the examples. Now suppose you are spending some cost in hauling of the material, right? So that is independent of how much duration or how much the duration is given for the particular task. Next one we'll see about the generic resource. So what exactly you mean by this generic resource? So resources that aren't specific like people, equipment, material, but rather the description of skills that you need for the task when you don't know what specific resources are available. So that time we can call this as what? Generic resource. Okay, the generic resource feature was designed to work in conjunction with the resource substitution, okay, and enterprise resources that is available in the project server. So you may find this generic resource even if you don't use it in the project server. Okay, it is not specific like people or equipment or material, but it will have the description of skills that we need for the task. So now we'll glance about the resource sheet. Okay, so here you know the wide. Okay, so in your resource sheet, so how exactly to go? You can see the view option. Okay, in your view option there is a resource sheet, you can select that. Okay, there are 2 to 3 options to select this resource sheet. So first one is in your view option, the second one is you can see a small box here, right? That is also where we select for the resource. So you can see the different columns here. Okay, so here the first one is indicator. So what this indicator says? Indicator field indicates the icons such as notes, constraints. If you want to indicate any resource note saying that this particular or this resource is limited only for half a day work, all that notes will be specified in the indicators. Some of the icon appear automatically according to your action. Okay, that means you will see an indicator for an over allocated resource. So when we do the practical example, you will understand, okay, a red small picture comes there. That means if for example if the resources is available in 4 numbers and you are allocating more than 5, that means there is an over allocation. So that will be highlighted there. Okay, the indicator column is highly useful to indicate the graphical representation. Okay, second one is, you can see second column is for the resource name. So the type of name of the resource, for example you can say the person's name or you can give in the description such as site engineer, project manager, then you can give like head mason, mason, builder, bishti. Okay, all that will come as resource name. For example, if it is a material, you can say as cement, sand and all, or if it is a equipment, bulldozer, okay, dozers you can say excavators, you can say hammers. Okay, all these things will come as fine. Then comes the type of resource. Okay, so here in this column it is used to specify the type of resource like human, that is work, material or cost resource. For example, if you consider project manager, in type of resource it will be work. Okay, if you consider head mason, it is a work. But if you consider cement, cement is not a work, cement is material. Okay, and for equipment cost resources, somehow you are investing somewhere as lump sum, it will come as a cost resource. So here you can see something, your third column is for the material label. Okay, for the material resources specify the unit of measure. For example, your earthwork excavation, Okay, it comes as meter cube. Your paint, for your paint you don't consider the thickness, you consider only 2 dimensions, so the unit will be meter square. Now suppose here in the type, if it is material, the unit comes as in the material label, and material label will be blank for work and cost. Material label is only valid for the material resources. This is what you have to remember, and also we'll see that in our practical we can see the difference there. Okay, so for example, you can use minutes for longer distance, phone time, feet, bags. Now suppose you enter the cement resource name as cement bags. For cement bags, it is a material, either it can be in cubic meter or it can be in number of bags. Okay, so one more thing is, whatever the label you enter here, okay, the same thing will be available, the same thing will be shown when you allocate the resource to the Gantt chart. This is what is where we have to be careful with. Okay, then it is the initial. Initial means the type of initial for the resource or accept the default that project profile. Okay, soon you enter here as project manager, initial it will take as P. Okay, so whatever the project gives you, you can consider that, or else you can change that according to your requirement. So then we'll see what is group. So here, assign resources to the groups if they share some of the common characteristics such as job function. Okay, if any one person or if any equipment is common, okay, you can group them, right? Fine. And so just we are going to create some groups, that also we can see in our practical session. Now comes one of the very important aspect of the resource sheet, that is the maximum units. So same way as here for the resource name, if we consider the material, we have to specify the material type, whereas for your people, that is the work, whereas for the work, under work comes the people and equipment. Suppose if it is a project manager, you have to mention here the maximum unit as either 1, 2, whatever. Okay, if it is for example dozer, okay, so for dozer you have to mention whether it is a single dozer, 2 dozers, whatever we are using for the work. Fine. So that is all about the maximum units. So the project expresses the amount of work resource you are which is available for the assignment as percentage of time at the work. So I have told you there we change. So units, this maximum units can be also given as in percentage, or it can be given in decimal. For example, if there are 10 if total 20 laborers are available for the work and 10 laborers are active, if it is percentage, you can show as 50% of the people are working. If it is in decimal, you can show the number 10. So that is the difference here. So you can change, if it is in percentage, you can change that to decimal going to the options. Then comes the standard rate. So this standard rate is very important, and the standard rate also we get from our estimation. Okay, we need to estimate from the rate analysis part we get. Okay, now directly if you are planning any MS project for any of the buildings, okay, directly you can take the amount or the standard rates from the contractor, and that one you can use. So the standard rate is the rate that is charged for resource work. For example, a project manager, he takes around 650 per day. If it is per month, that is different. If it is per day, okay, so the way you divide the cost, it depends on you. So the project calculates the default standard rate in hours, but you can specify in other increments. Okay, for example, the work resource you can use minutes, days, weeks, months, years, etc. For material resource, think of charge as per the unit based on the material label. Okay, so you can also change the time from hours to days. For example, you are going to give the salary. Okay, if it will come as this much per month, it will come as what? Lump sum. But if you are giving per day, okay, for usually for equipments we take it, we pay per hour. Okay, if you are using dozer for 10 hours, for every hour you are paying some amount. Okay, but whereas for the labor you pay per day. Okay, and if it is monthly salary, that also can be changed. Fine. Next one is the overtime rate. So overtime rate means if a particular resource is working overtime. So that is how you mention. Fine. And the other things we can check in our practical session. This is the calendar. So if you're giving any particular individual calendar for the resource, that also can be highlighted. So these are a few important thing in the resource sheet. Thus the resources are defined in the resource sheet, and as you have seen, it contains more than 12 fields, and the data is to be entered once we know or once we start with our actual work. So now we'll see how to add these resources. Okay, so adding of an enterprise resource to our project allows us to assign the resource to the task of the work. Now if you have created the resource, but if you haven't applied to your Gantt chart, your resources or your total cost cannot be shown. Now adding of the resource is one part. Equivalently, how you apply the resource also plays a very important role. So you cannot make the changes to the attributes of the enterprise resource, such as pay rates or the availability. If you want to add resource to the list of the available enterprise resources, you must first import the resources. So I told you already, in our estimation it will be available. So we'll see the steps to add the resources to the resource sheet. So first, from the in your view option, you have the resource view group, and you can check the resource sheet, whereas there are other 2 or 3 methods how to add the resources we can see in our practical session. Click the cell directly below the resource name, that is whichever you want to select for that particular activity. So how we do this, we can see. Now as I told you, allocation of the resource is very important. Okay, so once the task and the resource lists are complete, resources need to be assigned to the task in order to work on them. This is called as what? Allocation of your resource. Fine. From Gantt chart view, you can easily assign the resources to the task. Okay, so how exactly we will be seeing that. So with MS Project, you can track. Fine. With MS Project, you can track the process, resources and task cost. This is called as what? Tracking of the process. So we will be seeing that in our next lab. One of the most important but often overlooked part is over allocation of the resource. So this is one of the major thing wherein we create a mistake. Now suppose if 10 labors are available and you allocate the labors beyond 10 in numbers, that is 10 labors 8 hours per day, and maybe the duration or the work hours, or maybe for the start to start activity, if you give the labors at both the ways, it will show as labor over allocation. So once it is labor over allocation, you can resolve that over allocation automatically also and with some of the methods also, but there your duration will change. There are 3 options. One, your time will change, your duration will change, and if your duration changes, the project completion time will change. So one of the important thing which should not be neglected is what? At the time of allocating your resources, if it leads to over allocation, then it goes wrong. So once the project schedule is created, it will usually have to be altered to avoid the over allocating a particular resource. For instance, maybe a subcontractor, okay, or maybe usually there is no over allocation in the materials, but in the labors, usually with the people and equipments, there happens the over allocation. So this which will cause the schedule to held up. Okay, and especially if there is any over allocation in your critical activities, then automatically there will be the delay in the project completion. So knowing how to allocate the resource in Microsoft Project helps you to keep control of your project from start to finish. This is very important. So now we'll consider one of the practical example. So this is end of your lab 5, and now we'll move on to our practical session. Thank you.